Want to see something cool? Well, I want to show you something cool. At least I think it's pretty sick. Um, how many of you, like, if you're sitting there thinking to yourself, like, what the heck is this video? Um, I don't know how many of you were like me growing up and had those things that you made as a kid, and the best part of it, I mean, it was fun making it, but one of the best parts was like going around, showing your family, showing your friends, whatever, like, look at this thing I made. And they were like, yeah, great, sure, like, that's awesome, but like, it's just adults are like, yeah, that's great, kid, Um, I know I've got like a family home video of when I was little, my mom, or I made like a wallet out of like just paper, tape, and then like, drew on it. And with this home video of me going up to my mom and be like, look at this wallet I made. I was like 4 or 5. And I like drawn on it, with lots of markers, very colorful. You could open it up and actually put stuff in it. I remember in third grade making like, carving out little erasers, drawing on the side of it with marker, putting gluing paper to the bottom so it could slide around my desk. I had these little like race car erasers that I loved making and playing with. In junior high, my my buddy would always get those the red Babel cheeses. Baby Bell? No, Baby Bell. I don't know. And they were the exterior, the red part's wax, and so if you work with it, it heats up. Like you heat it up with your hands enough, then it becomes a workable like clay-like substance. And so I'd make stuff with that like it was clay, um, and then it hardens up pretty nicely once it cools back down. Once you stop working with it. And so I remember one time like I'd like gotten 8 of them or something. Like he'd get one in his lunch every single day. So every single day I'd get the wax and make something out of it. And so I made this like sick full octopus one time, and I just make random crap. And of course, this whole time I built with Lego. So that brings us to the topic here. Sorry about my setup, guys. I'm traveling for work, so we're kind of working off one screen. So apologies for the little bit of ghetto setup there. So here's the set. Um, I've been working every day this year, 20 minutes a day, which reminds me, let's start our timer on this project. Me and my dad always bonded over Lego. So I loved making things, loved showing them off, right? And my dad loved making with Lego. So I loved Lego too. He built me a Lego table one year and we always made stuff together on it, right? And um, and so I wanted to make him something that kind of represented that medium, I guess, we always bonded over, like where our interests aligned and we spent time together doing things. And I wanted to do this set. This is my childhood home. My parents raised us kids in, and specifically, they built it, raised us 6 kids, and then when the youngest one moved, they sold it, sold everything, moved to Hawaii, and so they no longer own it. And so I wanted a memento of that house just because it was so special to our childhood and to my dad. And so the house plus Lego, boom, here's this project. So we're already a minute in, so I better get going. But we're at the point, we're far enough in now that, as you can see, the set's already made. I just hid the roof so you could kind of see what we were working with. But now we're working on the instruction manual. So the end goal here is I'll have the instruction manual, I'll have the pieces. I already ordered the pieces a couple days ago. And so while that's coming, I'm making the instruction manual. Once that gets here, we'll put all the pieces together, obviously, and test it out. Get any pieces that need, I don't know, do whatever we need to fix it, right? I'm sure there's going to be miscellaneous issues that come up, and then we'll print out the the order of operations here, these things, and yeah, and then we'll build it. I'll build it with him. Obviously, I'm going to keep documenting this whole process, and then at the end, I'll make one recap video showing the whole thing. But right now we're making the plan set here. So this is like the video yesterday was peeling the onion. That was the best advice that I got on this was you kind of start with like I started with the full set obviously, and then kind of working my way back, taking off pieces, moving it to a new step. And so we've gotten all the way to the point of you can see like this was like uh, removing or really adding, I guess, the roofs and then the roof line all the way until here. We'd started at the base, but I found it was definitely harder to do it that way. So now we're starting at the top. So yeah, so now we're here. Now we need to figure out what layer to do next. And I think what we want to do, when did, had another piece on there. Why is it not showing up now? So yeah, we yap and we build. I hope you've got a project you're working on. Show me, like post on the community page. Like I want to see what y'all are working on. I love seeing the projects and seeing just what you guys like to work on. So yeah, see this. I don't know. Oh, it just added it to the end, didn't it? Okay, so we just got to come back here and move it. Um, so yeah, show me what you're working on. I'd love to see it. Yes, so this is what I'm talking about. Let's move this to, oh, so that's how I can do multiple in one. Then there's these. Okay, so that's when you go to page design. That's where I hear, that's how it decides then how to split up how these things go. Okay, okay. I'm getting the hang of this. We're making progress. So I'm sure there's going to be more that we want to do, but for now, I'm just trying to peel the onion, and then like it just has to be good enough that we can figure out where to go next. You know, what pieces are for what. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. At the end of the day, like it's not a super specific model, you know. So let's move to a specific step. I don't know, like 90. Is that right? I do think this is on the right step, so I think we're good there. Um, okay, so let's now go up to number 90. Oh, that was way too far. So like see how this, like it's only got one piece. Really, we should be grouping some of these together. But let's see, what step do we even want this on? Probably be step 154. So whoops. Move to step 154. So yeah, this is actually a really satisfying process. I was worried it'd be kind of boring, but I'm actually having a blast working on it. Okay, so let's take apart this. Hopefully that top one's enough to keep it together. I'm really not sure it will be. Yeah, essentially now we're doing this where it's like, I'm gonna take these and move these to, just click this one step after. So now you can see it put that in the next step. And then now I've got one less thing. So then now I can pull off this and I'm like, maybe I want the hot tub now to be its own thing. I may even do a submodel for this one to see you kind of build it and then plop it down. The submodels are good if you don't need it to be in relation to other pieces, and it's just kind of like build this thing and then I don't know what that did. Build this thing and then plop it down here. So that's definitely the use case for submodels. Do I want to do that though? Or do we start taking away these patios? Maybe we do the patios. So like these might be good for submodels. I don't know though. Again, like it just has to be good enough that like we can like kind of roughly make out what we need to do. And then we can figure out the rest together. Like obviously we've both been building Lego our whole lives, so it doesn't need to be super exact or anything. Did I already get that one? I did, yeah. These I'm gonna move to another step. Those I feel like should be their own thing. So if I move these to step after, what does that look like? Yeah, there we go. And then let's move these to, where would we even want them? It'd be really whenever we're working on this corner. Yeah, so it'd be maybe 164, like insert a step in there and move it to 164. So let's come back here. Let's take all these, move to 164, and then we'll go back down to 164 and then just make these their own step. There's already enough going on in this step. So step after. Okay, cool. So we put those in, and put that in. Okay. And there may be some finagling with that. I'm not sure how these are going to interact in real life, but we'll deal with that later. So yeah, so honestly, this tool makes this so much easier than I expected. So that's been fun. Let's do all these columns. I'm trying to think, what are some other fun stories? Like this back porch. I remember we do a bunch of games back here for birthday parties. My mom threw the best birthday parties for us. Um, yeah, let's add this one to the step before. There we go. So then like as you're building it up, you do that, and then there we go. Yeah, Kate, I'm realizing we definitely need to group some of these. That's way too many steps when it's like you can do a bunch of pieces in one step, you know? Okay. All right. Now, what do we want to do next? Do we literally just start going down layer by layer? Oh, I didn't realize I hadn't changed these to be like all of these ones are, where they basically make a nice beam, you know? Okay. Well, we can figure that out in a sec. Let's do these a step after, and then take all these down. Even these, like, why did I do that one there? Was I trying something funky out? Because all the rest of these are the... Let's just come back here and just fix it now while we're at it. I should have seen what step it was, though. Whoop, my battery's already low on my computer. Let me grab the thing real quick. So yeah, we'd always do fun birthday parties back there, and my actually, you know what? Rather than talking about the birthday party story, I was sorry, actually one sec. It's the hard part of doing like a single uncut edit. But basically talking through, and let me just make sure I didn't mess up my recording. Gotta make sure we're still recording right. Okay, yeah, we're still recording. Yeah, so something I really want to do. My parents were great, I love them, but they weren't that welcoming, especially of like friends and stuff. You know how like I always had that like one friend that like their parents were just the nicest people and were like, when you're here, you're basically our kid. You know what I mean? Oh, do they not have the, this is 1 by 1 by 5. Do they not have a 1 by 1 by 4? Oh, that's why I didn't do it. Okay. Well, that makes me feel better. This one, though, this is still an issue. So let's fix that. We're definitely gonna have to order some pieces because as I've been building this, it's like, oh, I should have done blank, you know? Whereas I've been doing the instruction set, it really makes you realize like what you did, you know? Puts it under a little bit more scrutiny. So if I were to like if y'all are following along doing this at home, do a project like this at home, make sure I would definitely say make the instruction manual before you order any pieces. It's just gonna like I think you'll find it's like going through with fine tooth comb, and you just find things that you're like, oh wait, yeah, I needed to do that a little bit different, you know, or that wasn't the best way to do that. So definitely recommend that. But yeah, making people just like making your home the home that's like everyone's safe haven. You know what I mean? Like trying to be that family that's like, oh yeah, we can go over to theirs, or for my kids, like yes, invite your friends over to our place. When we get to high school, then too, I feel like that's better for like, I mean, kids are gonna do dumb things, but it's like I'd rather you do that at my house where I can, I mean, kind of supervise, I guess, you know, like not obviously on your back or anything, but just be there for for when things go wrong. Like things are gonna go wrong, and that's okay. Like I'm not that parent that's like, or I don't want to be that parent that's like, you know, super strict or kids don't tell me because it's like well, they're gonna act a certain way, and it's like at the end of the day, like I'm definitely gonna I want to be that more loose parent, which maybe that's what every parent says, and then you actually get in it, and it's like that's my child, bro. Like I'm not trying to let them just do whatever for their own safety. I'm a big believer in like mistakes are a part of life. Like mistakes are how you learn things, and so I think it's important to let kids make mistakes. Um, so I don't know, but yeah. So I want my house to be the one though that's like, oh yeah, like I got those friends' parents that are like, yeah, they were like extra parents growing up, but like the ones that like you could tell anything to, or just were super, just made you feel at home, you know. And so like I want to be that for my kids' friends, you know what I mean? Um, just that safe home, you know what I mean? So let's see, 155. So let's go to this, and all of these we want to move 155. Move to specific step 155. There we go. So now if we jump up, okay. I guess we probably want to just move this actually to a new step. Step after. Perfect. Um, so yeah, that's kind of the dream. But yeah, so the birthday party thing made me think of it because it was like my parents threw fun birthday parties, but oh, I actually did the just straight up moved a step after. I wanted a new step after. Um, and I think they were friendly enough, but it wasn't like, oh, our home is your home and our food is your food or anything like that, you know. Um, it was definitely more. I mean, my parents were stressed about a lot. We were, if you're like, oh, this house is nice, like y'all must have been well off. We were house poor, if that makes sense. They built a house at the peak of like just before 2008 crash, so it like seemed like it was gonna be super cheap, but it doubled in price as they were building the home, and then the market crashed, so my dad lost his job, and it was just like, uh, yeah, everything just like went downhill quick, and so we had this nice house, but like literally that was what all their money went towards the eight. Um, and so we couldn't afford like anything. Like literally, if it wasn't for 2008 when the banks were like stopped trying to repossess people's houses, they would have because had so many because no one could pay their mortgages. If it wasn't for that, we would have 100% lost our house, as far as I'm aware. Maybe maybe someday my parents will watch this and be like, "What the hell, like, bro? Like we were chilling," but it's like that's not the way it seemed, at least. Um, like I was stressing about money as a kid, so it definitely is like nowadays. It's like I'm very conservative with money because it's like I'm never trying to be in that situation, like that stress, especially for my kids. Um, yeah, one of those things where it's like your parents do a lot of things right, but there's always those things that you're like, I just don't want to make that mistake that they made. And so I think that's one of them for me. Oh, I missed that. We'll get that in a sec. But yeah, but then they also just weren't very welcoming. You know, I think they were just worried about themselves and their kids, and so they didn't want to worry about anyone else's kids. But it's like I think sometimes kids need that. I think it shows a good example for your kids of like obviously like if your friends are always welcome, then you're always welcome. You know, um, I know I've talked about it in other ones, but like I've definitely had some rough times with my parents just because we had different uh, religious views, and yeah, so you know sometimes you know they don't agree with the way I want to live my life. Now they've chilled out. I think just I've been out of the house long enough and gotten older, and so they've kind of been like, oh, like nothing we do is going to change anything, and I'm a full ass adult. You know what I mean? And so anyway, I think we're chill now, and I love them. They're great. But yeah, so back to the whole. I don't know. Okay, that white piece actually, I think we did over here, but we need to move it back up. Um, Want 155, step 155. I need like easy ways to like step through these. Yes, this one. Move to step 155. There we go. So what were we saying? Oh yeah. So anyway, I didn't ever feel I felt like honestly, my parents' love was conditional growing up. Like it was very much predicated on doing things a certain way. Um, and eventually they proved it wasn't, and so that's when like we got super close because I was like, oh, like I don't know, that's what it's all about, you know. Okay, I think I need to throw these off. I'm realizing these should be very much later. Um, Maybe can I select yes by type and color? Okay, cool. I think that's all of those ones. Okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna want to do the planes kind of last. They're kind of a so let's move these down. So yeah, I definitely want my house to be the one that's the I want every kid there to feel safe, like they yeah, it's a safe haven. They can be whoever they want to be. I'm not there to be I'm there to be there when they make mistakes and they need help, not when and I'm not there to tell them I told you so. Um, just there to be the safety net, you know. Okay. I'm actually thinking this goes even lower, like almost like 180. Is that like the finishing touches? I guess that one is. Yeah, I kind of think we can do that. Oh, we're done with tonight. Well, thanks y'all for coming along, and I don't want to stop. It's so fun, honestly. But yeah, we should stop. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, and oh, you know what? Tomorrow I don't get home until like midnight. So let me just make myself big so you don't have to see this. Anyway, so I'll actually probably miss tomorrow's video. So heads up about that. Um, I know I missed a video this last weekend too because I was traveling for Easter, seeing family. But yeah, if I don't see y'all tomorrow, I'll see you on Thursday, and we'll see. I think I'll try to make up those two episodes this weekend, make some more progress on this because as soon as the pieces get here, I want to be able to start putting them together. I probably won't print out the set yet or the instructions yet, just because if I change anything, I want to be able to change it like in the model and update this instructions. And then I want to print it on glossy paper, make it really feel like Lego, and um, and then I got to design the box. Um, the next time I see him, I miss my deadline of Easter. My dad came to town, or my parents, but so my next deadline is my wedding in June. I'll see him at the end of June. So we've got this month, next month, June, but I'll be moving during that time, prepping for wedding, getting married. So obviously it's going to be a busy time. So I got to get this done ASAP so it's ready for him. Um, yeah, but I'm hyped. I'll see y'all either tomorrow or Thursday. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, like, subscribe, you know all the drill, comment, all that. Thanks. See ya.